Hello guys, it's Kunmashi666 here, and today I wanna present you my guide for heavy mace defensive tank in small scale. In this video we are gonna talk more about defensive because this video is only for newbies, but if you're not new in the game you also can watch it. First of all we are gonna talk about build. You have Judy helmet or Helion hood, Guardian armor, and on your shoes you only have royal boots or cleric sandals or mercenary boots. Only these three choices. You take smuggler cape, giant potions, and food is Aulan omelette or sandwich. Now we are gonna talk about button rotation. Your Q skill you put only in narrow places or in predict of enemy movement. Your W roots you play only for delaying or only for your mobility. Like, enemy has buttons and they're gonna engage soon. You can delay enemy color or their DPS. Your E skill is only about pushing enemy DPS buffs or stacks, like Glaives stacks, like Carving Sword stacks, or maybe you see Longbows W, you just push it. Your Guardian armor, you press it only when you see enemy engaging signals, like I mentioned before, it's current source W, bows W, some jackets, some blinks, and so on. Your Judy helmet is the same usage with your W skill, and your Helion hood usage is the same with your Q skill. Now we are going to talk about gameplay. Versus melee clap comp, you always gotta follow enemy DPS group. You gotta know what their color is, like Golem or Air Compress or Hand of Justice. And you always gotta stand in the place between their color and DPSs, because melee clap comps like to strike enemy midline or backline. So that's why you gotta stand in prediction of their trajectory. Plus, it can help you to delay well. Potion you press only when you see you are the trajectory of enemy engage. If enemy is brawl comp, you gotta forget about frontline. You always move with your main raid, with your midline, and block only DPSs or tanks who are gonna come inside your midline. If you see some of your teammate is kidnapped, you don't go back to frontline to save him. You gotta remember, you press your shoes, you press your W only in direction of your raid movement. The key is about Persian crystal swords, or if you see astral staffs, you gotta root them. Also don't forget to swap your Q skill to Q1. And the most common mistake is about some people block DPSs who already pressed their key button. There is no use block them. They already done what they had to do. Potion you press only for sustain. If enemy is kiting comp, it's almost unreal for you to block their DPS group. So your main object is about delaying before enemy engage. Also, because they're kiting, they will strike frontline first to kill your tanks. And if you see engage like this, you don't block it, you forget about blocking, you just focus on your own safety. But if you can feel that next engage is gonna strike your midline, you can try to block it. Also, because you can't block their engage well, after they finish engaging, you gotta stab them, like playing for offense more as well as possible. Potion you press only when you're kidnapped or sustain before enemy engage. Now we are going to talk about most common mistakes. First mistake is about Guardian Armor mechanic. It's about most of DPS the game. So when enemy DPS start casting E skill and under him there is no your Guardian Armor, he will deal full damage. So there is no use to press your armor when enemy already start engaging. Plus, you gotta press it before engage because it has 4-second duration and you always gotta be in DPS group when you open it. Second mistake is about not taking advantage for healing up between enemy engages. After enemy finish engaging, there is some from 10 to 20 seconds for you to come back to your raid and heal up. Because sooner you heal up, sooner you get back to frontline. If you don't do it before next enemy engage, they will focus you or you will be too afraid to block them. Third mistake is unclear understanding who you gotta block. You always gotta block key DPS. Like versus clap builds, it's carving sword, bows, or glaives. These DPS are easy to block because carving sword has super obvious W, bows also has super obvious W, glaives you gotta push their stacks, or some DPS jackets, you know what I mean. Fourth mistake is standing in trajectory of enemy engage. If you are getting engaged, it means you can't block enemy DPS well. That's why it's very important to follow enemy DPS key signals. And the final mistake is about pressing buttons without any thinking. Before you press any button, doesn't matter it's Q or R, you always gotta have idea before. You can know you press it right or wrong. You can only know it after fight finished when you watch your replay. But before you press any button, you gotta think about what you press it for. And in the end, I have the most important advice. The advice is about you always gotta understand who you defend. You defend your main raid. You don't need to defend the same defend role as you. You only gotta defend your main raid. So there is no point for you to stand deep in the enemy or block them if your main raid is far away. Also, if you do it, you will get kidnapped or you will be the target who enemy will engage. Okay, that's it. More education content you will find in my playlist. I will leave it somewhere here. And now we will rewind some of my battles. I think you can learn from. Thank you. Okay, let's begin rewinding my recent fight. Enemy is Mediclab.com, their caller is Golem. And before we start, I gotta say that in this video, I will not focus only for defensive. If I'm sure I can block next enemy engage, I will play some support engaging stuff or maybe some catching stuff also because playstyle I use is not the same as I mentioned in my guide video. Sometimes I use my E skill after enemy engage for counting their next CDs. Yeah, because I press E, I can watch my own CD on E skill. First of all, I press put is a place to block enemy DPS's fastest direction for engaging. Now I know they will engage soon. I press armor in prediction. Okay, good armor. Here it is. I press E for counting their next CD engaging. See, I know it's fake because my E is not ready. But I mean, don't learn my offensive plays or some strange plays you can get. First of all, you gotta focus on good defensive. I see they're engaging. I see most of the DPS on E corner. I delay them with my W to press Guardian Armor before press their E buttons. Some support engage and play. Okay, now I know enemy engage in trajectory, right? And I will delay them and put as I would put my Q skill. Here it is again. I put for blocking enemy fastest direction for engaging. I see some signals like red blinks, some buffs. The no, the only target can be engaged me. And here I gotta care about my own safety, not blocking engage. 样子，没，还没，我现在不行，打完了。
准备打，5、4、3、2、1，接打。为什么？我又拉到手。我们太吃亏了。这个地方。地别走，5、准备3、2、1，接打。
Some support engage in place.
出来要了。下坡散开，两边散开，往一走，看不到，他们站上面，应该是。打了。OK，没事。
Here, I understand I'm the only one who gonna be engaged. I placed my foot, but it's better to blink out.
打了。OK。我10连骗了。看脸上，我不起那个直接打，蓝标准备，咱们3、2、1，接打。OK。哎，小枪。往一甩，别走太远，哎。往一甩。
W for delaying. You can see how I delay enemy DPSs. Not tanks, not supports, only DPSs.
打了。OK，往一走，别乱鸡巴走啊！别接！你在说什么？这把血，谁啊？我操！
我还没跑，
我真走，还没打，正恩。
Now I can feel enemy will engage soon. And got a walk between their collar and between their DPSs. Because when enemy will engage, DPS will come closer to me.
要打正义，打了。
Okay.
打完。给点。OK， 没问题。去哪一下鲁尼？太远了。稍微捏的死一点啊。菠萝没有了是吧？其他 DPS 交了吗
？Q 包这样你要交 ，Q 包要交。他们还没打，小心。I know they didn't engage Golem W. That's why it next engage will be in Golem form. So I follow enemy DPSs and open Guardian armor before they engage. 他们要打10多人。打完了。
往一走，我先上去骗一下，骗了1瓶药。往一走。OK。
那 DPS 都在一方向。
我看到了。
So Golem W and open R, but it's fake. Yeah, that's why you got to be ready for Golem engage.
没。往哪边走？别走，我俩准备3、2、1，接打。
Delay their DPS with my W and put Helion Hood in prediction to block them. 要到了，小心，到了。
OK。打法也是很。
Here I just break Assassin Hood.
往正拿不走。别让他压，鲁尼回来一点。防后排。防后排。小
打 DPS 看得远。
实停位置。OK， 往正拿不走。
So obvious signals of engaging and press R and press blinks to get enemy DPS group. 我们就打完了。After they finished engaging, I come back to my raid to heal up.
再走一步，别慌。
我们得上来吗
OK， 我看到了，往 WS 走，你走你的。
是我们 NE 人太多了。
我看到了，这边走，我俩准备3、2、1，接打。好。
要打的样子。
往这边走。
打击。Again, now they will engage soon. So some signals of engaging is longbow W and open Guardian armor. Use your mobility skills to get to DPS group. DPS 都在你。
往一走，下坡，打完了。
打完了。
他全是我，不是
往一走，往一走。
Here I don't go to front line because I know I defend only my main raid. There is no point to come back to front line. It will slow you down.
没事，过。
他们现在跑。
OK。看到了，我还自己再走一步。OK。
Like another heavy mace, he is also not heavy mace player. His position is big mistake, and I come back to save him only because I know I will block next enemy engage anyway.
别急，后带脚，我少一个地边。
下波拉达，Q 波在 W19。I think there is no point to watch full video because I just gave you some examples of good defensive. So if you want, you can go to watch my other videos yourselves. Okay, now we will watch another fight versus full melee Bravo clone.
等一下，在这里等一下。上坡。
有很多绕屁股，坡上有。
3、2、1，接打脸上。OK， 摁一下坡。没事，第一波下坡。
Now I can see big danger from SE corner, yeah, and that's why I got a block. Because they're gonna come inside my mid line.
往哪走？往哪走？开地头。别急，往哪走？正人，一打，这两面3、2、1，接打脸上。打哪里去啊？我真走，转下地，哪呀？去哪呀？他们站后排去啊！快走！我还自己走。全部没后排。那个，自己走，赶紧揉。别急，我还自己走啊！你们的，转下地，准备打，我2面3、2、1，接打脸上。我还自己走，上坡，没有通道。
I see Crystal Sword E, instant push. Also, I press my W and blinks forward to my main raid. Yeah, some of people press their mobility skills only after they got kidnapped, but you always gotta press it before. Yeah, not wait for being kidnapped first. Just don't give enemy any chance to kidnap you.
别着急上坡在这后一下。别急，在这里后，准备打，我2面3、2、1，接打脸上。先后带脚。
我快到了，
他点他。
W 点。OK， 没问题，后带脚。OK， 没问题，往 W 再走一步，走，别奶了，开始，往 W 走。
Yeah, it's finished. If you have any questions, you can ask me in comments. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.